All right, so let's see. It's Friday. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and things are really slow around here. I'm going to do a little work today, just very little. The blue bike is complete and just waiting to be picked up. The owner is tied up. He can't come by and test ride it, so we're just going to let it sit here till either he has some time to test ride it or Kevin gets back. Kevin's in Colorado with a family reunion, lots and lots of people in a condo they own up there, lots of relatives, lots of kids. He wants to get back here so he can relax and rest up because, as usual, you come back from vacation needing a vacation. So he's going to come back and we'll test ride this bike and let it go. The yellow bike is complete. The client is tied up with other things. I told him leave the bike here and it probably will be here until September. Not a big deal. It's just sitting here just fine. Thank you very much. This is the sum total of the leakage that came from the Green Goddess. It's about the size of your palm of your hand and fingers, about the size of your hand or so. And it's not a lot by British bike standards, but I put the Goddess on the lift. I'm going to put it up in the air and take a look and see if I can see where that came from at all. And then I'm going to start the bike and see if it's still blowing smoke out of that right hand pipe. And it will also be fun to see how many kicks it takes. It's been sitting for, oh gosh, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll be a serious cold start. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick it up in the air right now, start looking underneath the engine, see if I can see the source of that little leak, and if so, I'll fix it. And let's see, what else? Oh, that's it. I'm going to start the bike and I will videotape the process so you can see how many kicks it takes. That's the plan for the morning, and then I'll call it a day because it's going to get hot real quick. All right, the underside of the bike is, really, really clean because it's a complete restoration. I've checked the center stand. There's no drip, no oil trail on it. Let's zoom out a little bit. There you go. The frame here, no oil trail on it. The side stand, there's no oil trail on it. Up under here, the tranny seems to be clean, and all of the area around it, no oil trails. There's a little oil trail right there, a little bit. Okay, so there's a little drip right there. Okay, so let's get up under here and take a look. All right, so if there's an oil trail here, is there? All right, when I get down here, where would be the source for that? Where would it pick up its oil? It's not up there, that's dry. And right about here is where the oil starts. I can feel it. So, do you suppose it's from here? I can certainly reseal that again. I'll do that. I will. See, I don't feel any oil in front of it. And I don't feel any oil on the outside of this plate, or the inside for that matter. So maybe it's coming, I don't know how it's making the jump from here to here. So there's no oil up here that I can feel. No oil in front of it that I can feel. There's a little oil over here. Maybe it's, since it was on its side stand, maybe it is coming out of here and traveling across and getting onto here. Well, because the bike has been sitting on the side stand. So, I'm going to reseal this guy and see if that solves the problem. Now I'm seeing a little bit of oil up here on the tranny. Where am I seeing that? I just saw some red oil right up there. That's on the tranny drain. Let's try to get up here. Yeah, this is the tranny drain up here. Can you see it? I think I'm going to reseal this tranny drain right there. It's the level check and the drain. I'm going to reseal that, and I'm going to reseal the sump drain and see what happens. So what I'm going to do now, rather than start the bike today, I'm going to dump the tranny and clean everything up, dry it all out, and then reseal both of them with copious amounts of anaerobic sealer and let it sit for 24 hours, and I'll start the bike tomorrow. All right, so that's the plan. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, this is a nice long breaker bar, and this is a inch and a half socket that I have ground down flat. So it fits on that sump plug on the Norton just beautifully, and this breaks it free just beautifully. And when I put it back together, believe me, I do not use the full power of this breaker bar. I just put it down in there and give it maybe an eighth to a quarter of a turn, because I do not want to strip out the engine sump. Believe me, I don't. So this is what I'm going to use to take that sump plug out. All right, so I'm draining the sump. That's no problem. Sump plug is over there. I got over here with a nice 11/16 a socket to take out this tranny. This tranny drain plug, and realize, whoa, Frank, this isn't a Triumph. This is a Norton, and that's not a drain plug. The drain plug on this guy is back here on the back. This being a Norton and not being a Triumph. So the drain plug is back here on the back of the tranny, right around somewhere where I can't get the camera. There, okay? So that's the drain, and it's tighter than a drum. I don't see any indication that it's leaking at all. So that plan has changed. I'm going to leave that alone since it's nice and tight. And I'm going to go look at the parts book and find out if this is the detent spring holder. And frankly, I really don't want to undo it, whatever it is. But if it's just the spring detent holder, I might. I mean, that was just a little red dot of oil on here. And I'm not sure I want to take it apart. So I'm going to go do some research and find out exactly what that is and make a decision. Okay, I did the research and the parts book and discovered that this bolt in here is the detent spring holder bolt. And it should, and that's capital should, capital S-H-O-U-L-D, it should be safe to take it out, clean it up, reseal it, put it back together. Capital should. First of all, I'm just going to try to tighten it a little bit, see if it's in any way, shape, manner, or form slightly even, a bit loose, and then if so, I'll just tighten it. That hope springs eternal. Probability is there that I'm going to take it out and reseal it, put it back in. So that's where we are. I'm about to do it. If I hear things go spring and the transmission no longer works, you won't have to worry about seeing it on the video, because you will hear it in real time, because I will be screaming to the neighborhood in real time, and you will know about it long before you see this video. So here we go. I'm going to do it. Okay, it wasn't loose, believe me, and it took some serious effort to break it free. So I'm now, it's got finger type now. I'm going to let you watch me take it out and see what happens. please, please, please. Don't mess things up. You know, that spring plunger goes boing, flying up into the transmission, laying in the bottom of the case. Anything silly like that, you'll hear about it, believe me. I can feel the oil on it from the outside, so it has been leaking ever so slightly. So let's see what happens when I take this out. Please. Spring pressure has diminished. And there comes the oil. And here's the unit. I didn't hear any springs. So we're just going to let this drain, and then I will put it back together. All right, so let's see what we found. Here's the sump plug and the sump plug filter assembly built into it. This is the spring-loaded detent for the shifter. It does not have a washer. And the parts book does not show it having a washer. And it was tight. It took me, I had to use a breaker bar to break it free. So it was tight, and yet it was seeping just a drop of oil every now and then. So I happen to have a nice washer that fits on there beautifully, and I don't think that 20,000ths of an inch or so is going to cause a problem. So I'm going to put it back together with a copper washer. This is the drain plug. It had a nice fiber washer. It wasn't leaking at all. But with the drain plug out, the tranny is going to be completely drained. So I'll put this back with a lot of sealer. I'll put this back with a lot of sealer. And I will put this back with a lot of sealer. I would love to change out this copper washer, but I don't have one. So I'll just use a lot of sealer on it. Now, in the meantime, I took it apart. This is the filter assembly that goes inside here. You just unwind it. And for a engine that's been rebuilt, it's got a surprising amount of stuff in it. So I'm going to clean all that out and then put it back together and put all of this back together. This sump filter, it's a bit grungy. So I've drained the engine oil out of the sump. It's got fresh engine oil in it, so I don't have to worry about changing it. But this is surprising that there's that much nasty oil in that sump. I truly don't, you know, I probably drained this when I changed it. I don't know, I must not have, because I wouldn't expect this much grunge to be in the filter if I had changed the engine oil and drained the sump. Something's not copacetic, something that doesn't add up. So I'm going to double check the oil in the main tank, and one way or another get clean oil throughout this whole engine before I do the restart. All right, I'm pretty well ready to put this back together. Like I said, this didn't have a washer, and according to the parts book, doesn't need a washer, but I am going to put a washer on it. This is the sump drain and filter assembly. This is the drain with its fiber washer. I'm going to put that back on. This guy, I was curious as to why there was so much sludge and so much dirt in it, and I couldn't figure it out. If I had taken it apart, it wouldn't be. Well, looking at it, I can tell that I never took it apart, because see this damage here? That's done by people using chisels to tighten and loosen this nut because they don't have a socket big enough. And I'll show you what I do when I find stuff like this. I always clean these up before I put them back in. So I'll show you what I do with this after I do it, okay? In the meantime, over here, I've cleaned out this filter assembly. It's pretty well clean all the way through now. I used a paintbrush and a wire brush to get all the crud out of it. And this is the crud that came out of it, which is a lot, but none of it's earth-shatteringly horrible. Basically, it just tells you that the filter was doing its job. Most of this is probably just excessive gasket material that broke free, which is one more reason why I like the anaerobic stuff I use. But anyway, so this is now clean. You squeeze it down and put it back in here. And I'll show you how to do that when I do it. All right, well, here are all the parts that are cleaned up and ready to go back together. I showed you this already. It's pretty well cleaned. And I'm going to put it back inside here. Now, what I showed you before, the damage to this nut. Let's see if I can find the viewfinder. Oh, there it is. I cleaned off the faces and reduced the damage this area here as much as I can. The Japanese have an interesting saying that goes something like the nail that sticks up is the one that gets hammered down, which is basically keep a low profile and don't make a lot of waves and you won't get hurt. I've adapted that to working on bits and pieces. Bottom line, if it sticks up, it either gets hammered down smooth and put back to work or ground off. And because anything that sticks up isn't doing you any good. It don't help. So there's no reason why you shouldn't either tap it down flat or grind it off. And I call this bolt beautification. So anyway, that's a lot cleaner, better, nicer. And this is completely cleaned and ready for gasket sealer to be on both sides of this copper washer and put back in when I put it together. So let's put it together, all right? So we take this and squeeze it back down a little bit because I've stretched it out here a lot. Everything seeing this? Yeah, okay. Just squeeze it back down a little bit and bring it back around. The cut ends actually overlap just a little bit. You see that? Okay. And you bring it around. You put those cut ends over top each other and continue reducing this in size just a little bit. That noise in the background is my neighbor's Mustang E, the electric one, and it's over there doing something all by itself. I'm not sure what. He may have it cooling down, the air conditioner. So anyway, this is about right. Let's see if it'll fit in here. Now you just get it down so that it'll go inside, like so. Gently. I don't want to mush it too much. There it goes. All right. That looks good. Cover. Oh, I cleaned this up and now it's got a little burr in it. There we go. Let's see. Now, no, it doesn't want to do that. It was a little bent, so I tapped it down. I don't feel anything there. Stand by, I'm going to clean this up. Okay, I went around the outside edge of this and just, knocked off a few little burrs, and we put it together. Straight in there, spring clip in here, and let's see if I can do it without using pliers, like so. Okay, that's ready to go back in. I found a new fiber washer that fits this, so I'll use it. I'll put this over here in my used washers. And I have a new washer to put on here that, because the other one didn't have one. Okay, so stand by, let's see. Okay, getting ready to put all this together. I'm going to use the remaining bit that's in this tube of the sealer. This is what it is. It's Permatex Anaerobic Gasket Maker Sealer, 51813. It's expensive. It's about $15 a tube, and it's worth its weight in gold. I've been using it for years, and I absolutely love it because it turns into a soft plastic and never really gets hard. And anyway, that's what I use. That's where we are. Oh, and then good old cleaner carb for cleaning, degreasing, everything. I use the cleaner carb to degrease things. It is the not 50 state version. If it says 50 state version here, don't buy it. That's for California, and it doesn't work. So if you buy any of this, make sure it does not say 50 state version. You want the old original. It works really, really good to cut through grease and oil. So I'm going to clean up the underside of the transmission, underside of the engine, and put all this back together. Okay, so all of the drains are back in place. They all look good. And can you see that one? Yeah, good. You got a good view of that. And on the other side, the top one there. Okay. Shifter detent spring with its copper washer. If when we test ride the bike, I mean, if it doesn't shift properly or if it pops out of gear, if it shows any transmission hesitancies at all, that's the first thing we'll do. We'll just take that copper washer out and put it back in without a washer like the parts book shows. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to leave it here like this now. There's no oil in the engine, no oil in the tranny, and we'll put oil in it tomorrow after it has a chance to sit overnight and coagulate. So why not? I'm just going to leave it like this till tomorrow. We'll put oil in it. I'll put about 6 to 8 ounces in the engine through the rocker box, just so it has splash oil down at the bottom, and fill up the transmission, and we'll go from there tomorrow. So, end of day.